Yeah, mentioning that it was difficult in your days to get into this business. How did it all start with you?
Television basically started very much by accident. I started acting first, and then I started singing. I started acting in 1984 when I finished school, and then singing in 93 was my first participation in the Malta Song. And at the time I was studying in Italy, I was studying theatre because that was my passion. And basically I was asked to, there was a fundraising for charity, for a president's cause, and I was asked to act out the part of a maid. And what happened was, I was there, it was being filmed, and it was put on air, and the following day I got a phone call and they said, listen, you're very natural on camera. And I said, oh, I hate cameras. And they told me, come in, we want to talk to you. And basically they told me, listen, there's this afternoon slot, we have no program, we have hardly any budget for it, would you like to do it? And I consulted my mum, and she said, do it. This is a good opportunity for you, do it. This is what you want to do. And I started, and now I'm in my 14th year of doing television. So television has helped me a lot as a singer. Maybe it's put me a bit away from acting, because I love acting, especially in theatre. I love it, I really do.
Did you do comedies or dramas?
I've done everything. I've done from Stephen King. I've done Misery, Misery, Stephen King. I was the nurse with a fantastic actor, so it was not such a difficult job being with the right person, and a very good director as well. And I've done comedy, I've done panto. I was the witch, I was the giant's wife. I was a fairy with my size, with chewing gum tights and everything. I was, but this is what made me what I am, my baggage of what I do on television has all this, I've been in all sorts of shows and musicals. I've done Oliver, I was Nancy in Oliver. I've done Mrs. Hannigan in Annie. I've done Anything Goes. I've done a lot. I've done a lot. But I've always done this here. So it's always, a limited audience, and you can't be, as I said, given the opportunity of doing things elsewhere, I would have taken up that opportunity.
And eventually you also took part in the Eurovision Song Contest in 2000.
Yes. Yes.
What did that experience bring you?
It brought me a lot of popularity, which is still here till today. This is 10 years later, and you're interviewing me about it. If that's
already,
already, 10 years later. And it's also basically given me popularity with the Maltese, and once you've represented Malta, you mean something to the Maltese, and that means a lot to me. I don't look at the Eurovision the way I used to. I used to look at it as the only opportunity. I think it's one of the few, but I don't think it's the only opportunity. So that's why I sandwich in with our students, going to do musical theatre, going to the Eurovision, taking up dancing, taking up acting only, and taking up singing only. But when you've trained in the 3 areas, dancing is my weak point, but I've had to do dancing as well. If you want to do a good job out of it, you have to do a bit of everything.
Do you still do songwriting?
No, not really. No, it was, I think, a short period of my career. As I said, I find, the Malta song scene a bit too. I don't know. There's a small circle of people. They're just absolutely obsessed with this festival, and I don't feel comfortable in that. So, I'd like to think that there's more to life than just the Eurovision.
Yeah. So you would never have wanted to become a full-time singer?
There was a time when I was. Oh yes, there was a time when I was, and I did, cabaret, nightclubs, all sorts of things. Good. Because I love jazz. So that is where I really, really, that is what I really enjoy singing. If I had to sing that all the time, I'd do it. But now I have a family, so you can't be, you know, at nightclubs doing your jazzy numbers, you know, and your big spender, that sort of thing.
But you're a multitasking person, presenting, hosting, singing, and having this personal approach to students is probably why you have such a big popularity on the island, I guess.
Probably, yes. I mean, now I think I've regained a lot of the popularity I had 10 years ago, because, you know, everything in life is a wave. You know, sometimes you put things aside and sometimes you bring them back. And as I said, it's about having your own baggage. And it's about how many things you fit into that baggage, and then you just pull out this one and you pull out that one.
Yeah.
The younger generation is very often living in this kind of bubble, thinking that everything is so pink. What would you advise those people?
Hit the ground. It's tough. It's difficult. Most people do not make it. Only very few actually do. But have alternatives. If I don't make it in that, what am I going to do? If I don't make it in this, what am I going to do? I mean, I basically do not need to work on television to have a job. And in fact, I've recently taken up a post which has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with television. Because I feel like, you know, I need more stability in my life from an income point of view. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop forever, but I've had to put, you know, things in the right perspective. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have the baggage which I have, which also includes academically that I studied, and I did a postgraduate, and I went to study in Italy. And, you know, you have to have many alternatives. You know, sometimes you walk into a street and you say, oh, this is an alley. You can't sit there and think, okay, this is an alley, I'm going to stay in this alley. You have to reverse all the way out. Malta's full of alleys. You know, get all the way out. Okay, I'll try that one. Okay, and go that way, and you'll find you have options. But if you think, oh, I'm a fantastic singer and I'm going to become really famous, chance is you're not going to make it.